Hey there, it's Nazreen from the Golden Nuggets podcast. If you guys are a business owner, consultant, coaches, experts, or self-employed professionals looking to grow your reach, I would like to introduce to you the Podium. It is our flagship podcast where we feature professionals just like you to share your story, to promote your business, and connect with a broader audience in the podcast space. So far, we have successfully completed 10 episodes featuring incredible guests, and the feedback has been awesome. And for a limited time offer, previously we charged for $250. We raised it slightly higher. Right now it's at $300 per episode. It is a 70% discount from our original price. This includes not only being featured in the podcast, but also gaining content to promote your business and credibility that comes with it. If you've been considering to be part of a podcast, now is your chance. Don't miss out this opportunity to amplify your message, reach to new audience, and stand out within your industry. I look forward to see you in the Podium, and let's share your story.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. In today's episode, the host is having a bit of a sore throat, so yes. Hanafi here, and next to me I have Ami.
Yo, what's up guys?
Wah, dengar tu suara dia. And today's episode we have a bit of a special guest. He's running a bit of a traditional business, I would say. We've never had anyone running a satay business before. Never. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first time. So this guy, young chap, I would say, still young lah, younger than me. Okay, yeah, young chap running a satay business called Satay Boy. We have Luqman.
Hi guys.
Hello. Walaupun ada orang suara suara sakit. Okay, Ami.
Yes.
Your first question.
Oh, okay. So, Luqman, before we start, yes. Can you share with the audience who is Luqman, and also what is the best way to actually describe you?
Okay, my name is Luqman. Basically, I'm the founder of Satay Boy. And basically, the best way to describe me in terms of the professional term is I'm a pit master lah.
Okay.
So basically, I've been advocating this standard practice in terms of satay. Pasal there's a gap lah. So I'll go into it later on lah. But basically, yeah, founder and pit master.
Okay. So what does a pit master do?
Basically, he A to Z dia faham, or he knows lah very well what how to grill, you know, how the reaction of the food is to the amount of heat you put in, and basically what kind of equipment can give you what kind of outcome when it comes to barbecue lah. So that's probably how I find a pit master to be. Now, a pit master is a very general term. We have not really reached the point where kita can label satay pit master, you know. So I'm working towards that, but I'm pretty sure after 15 years of doing this business, I would be in the right position to know the ins and outs of it.
Okay. So how is it like running a traditional business? Like, you don't hear a lot of youngsters, doing satay.
Yeah. You must have a lot of passion for it lah. You must have a reason. This business will beat you down every day. You know, so you have to have that energy, I guess. My purpose for this is mainly because my grandfather used to do it, and I'm Javanese on my IC, so it stands for a lot. But I find that I came from a design background. I felt like there was a big gap in trying to articulate satay to the people. And then when you can realize that there is something of a gap or something that is missing, you have an answer to fill that gap, do it. Before somebody else does it, do it. And it's not because you wanna, I mean, of course, if you're the first one, good for you lah. But it's not because you wanna block the way or whatever. That's not the idea here. I just feel like all the old waks, which is my father's time, you know, wawa satay, they wanna do something, they just smile and they do, and they're very nice people. Hey, uncle, hi. but nobody understands further. So it will always remain as this guy does satay. That's it. And do you appreciate? Yes. But at what level? How? So and at that point of time when I was doing this, a lot of things were going on. Like kids don't even know certain things about their own food, their culture. Asam pedas, they don't know because their parents are working. They eat food outside.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no, like if the parents don't like to eat nasi padang, then you don't know what this is. Right. So I felt like I had to be in a position to articulate what satay is, translate it to something of a higher level, in a restaurant level, so that the audience is no longer trapped in just that visual sense. They can have an experience when they have Satay Boy in their house or in whatever it is lah, in that situation where orang datang to Satay Boy, you can see. And yeah, that would be where it is lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take it back. When you were young as a kid,
Yeah.
Being neighbours with my wife.
Yes.
How was it? How were you like as a child?
Mischievous ah.
Mischievous.
I'm the only boy in my house, so I got the cue from my neighbors. Right. Obviously, not Liana being my. I had a lot of guy buddies that were in the area, and we were very mischievous. I used to play football all the time, block catching.
Okay.
Right. Get cannot play soccer under the block. Get caught by police and whatnot. It's normal stuff when we were doing kids. When we were kids, right? Just basically that was it.
Yeah, our generation.
Yeah. But Alhamdulillah, I've seen the new generation also going down this path slowly. So yeah. So I think that was just me. I think I never thought of what I'd like to do in the future.
Never once.
Never. It was never like I want to be a satay man.
Okay.
I wanted to be a footballer actually. I just wanted to play football. It was very narrow. I wasn't presented with, this can happen for you in the future. This can happen for you. Tak ada. It's just like our parents would just come up to us and just tell us a paper very important, study.
Okay.
That's it lah. So when it comes to the point where I need to find a job, then I start thinking of what to dream about.
Okay.
Not as if I had big dreams lah. Yeah.
So after Broderick Secondary, where do you go?
I went to Temasek Poly for a year, which I flopped.
Okay.
Right. And
That's
then
okay, we all TP.
Yes.
Shout out to Temasek Poly.
Yeah, Temasek Poly.
Because,
Nothing to do with Temasek Poly. It was just me. Then I left and then I went to Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts, and that's where I kind of found my calling in terms of design. And I went all the way with design. I finished and I was that was the first time I got featured into Berita Harian actually when I graduated. With my final year project. So it was quite fun. It was a good run. I was trying to advocate design at that time, tapi I mean it didn't work out because there were a lot of things that were wrong with design at that time. So that's why I didn't proceed.
Okay. So in which point of your childhood was it instilled that, hey, I want to do this, or I want to articulate the culture, the heritage of the food to the people?
I was always sheltered in terms of what was happening in terms of my parents because they were selling satay. I was always sheltered. I was always away. So I can never say that I was inspired to do this. It wasn't the case. Like I said, I wanted to be a footballer, man, more than anything else.
I think we all did at one point of time.
Guess who, right? Yeah. But I think when it reached the point where when I was older it wasn't when I was a child. I think it was when I was a teenager, and then I had to take up part-time jobs and whatnot. Then I realized that there is something there because I was very sheltered. I didn't know struggle too much. So then when I did satay and I realized it's actually sold per stick at a very low price in order to actually get the amount that is enough to go and grow a family.
Yes, correct.
Substantial. So when it has reached that point, then I realized what kind of magic my father did in order for us to have a comfortable life that I was living. So then at that point in time, it was like, but it was like I still cannot get it. How many million sticks of satay do you have to do to go for holidays, go for umrah, go and buy a car, go and give us things?
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. I mean,
There's a lot of sticks.
A lot of sticks. You know, as weird as you might think it is, I always look at it as satu cucuk, one cucuk. So many to go and get all of this done. So of course it was risky, but at the same time it was a moment of like respect.
At what age again do you have this realization?
I think I was probably 19.
Because like if let's say per stick you profit like 30 cents.
Yeah.
Example like if you want to go on a $10,000 holiday, how many sticks is there?
Yeah. A lot, bro.
Yeah.
A lot. If you really divide the numbers, it's a lot.
30,000.
More than 30, slightly more than 30,000. Maybe 35,000 probably.
Yeah. Yes. But I mean, if you have a lean business model, and I think the way my dad used to do it, it's not the way I did it, but the way he used to do it is that everything funnels through him, and he controls the financial aspect of it. Then maybe you can be at that position. That business structure worked for him. It's fine by all means, because he was the one sheltering a lot of people. But on my end, I feel now my business structure is very different. It's meant to empower people, to attract people to stay within the business, to make sure that they get paid a good amount of money, so that they can tell their friends like, "Hey babe, aku jual satay. I sell satay but they're proud of it and their pocket pun got money but that is at the expense of the top person The top person cannot take so much, must give. That's the best way to look at it.
Am I right to say like your model is right now to give jobs to people?
Yes. That responsibility has always been the case for me.
Okay.
When you're a Muslim, you're always told to do well. You know, anybody who says, "Oh, okay, we just have to sit back and leave it to Allah," you know, just leave it, and then everything's okay. That's only just like maybe 10% of it. You know, you should really understand the responsibility you have, and then you push forward and say, "Hey, we're gonna create jobs. We're gonna help people." I mean, first we help ourselves, then we help the larger community lah. Yeah, in order to be in a position of strength, you have to create a good structure, strong, then push out. So that's how it works lah. But to build that structure, I tell you, so many people are just breaking the structure every time. You could not repair and break, then repair.
So how was it like when you started? Okay, you said you started about 15 years back
ago.
right?
You were that means you were 20 years old.
21, 20.
Just after NS.
Yeah, for Satay Boy lah, yes.
For Satay Boy,
I was in NS. I was because remember I skipped.
Oh yeah.
I went to Temasek and I went to NAFA, and I didn't graduate after 3 years. I graduated 4 years.
Okay.
Doing a full day also. So I ended up taking the long route lah. But I already understood the moment I reached NAFA. I realized this is not what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where I realized I want to do satay lah. Yeah.
Okay. So when you first started doing satay, right?
Yeah.
You had peers in your army. Was it army?
Police. I was in police. Yeah.
Police. Your batch mates and so on.
Yeah.
Did they know that you were starting a business at the point?
Yeah, I think they knew lah. I mean, I remember. Okay, this is very weird, but I remember buying my first vehicle when I was POP. I POP and I got my car.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's people already kind of knew that. I was the hustling type lah. You know, I was kind of.
You're probably thinking like, okay, this guy just POP. He's really buying a car.
Something like that lah. Something like that. But that time car cheap lah. So like literally, you know, but still cheap. Also, everybody earning $400-500 only lah. Yeah. But I mean, work hard lah. You know, work hard. I mean, I had a lot. Okay. Something everybody must understand. My parents also did help with that car.
Okay.
But that's basically because I kind of started off earlier, proving that they made me prove my worth lah. That's why I reached that level where they kind of helped out a bit with the vehicle at the start. And the vehicle was not more of a show off thing. It was a work thing. I need to move satay.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was an interesting aspect of this. I started off my first live station. I stayed in Dakota Crescent. That time there was the Circle Line.
Yeah.
So I took trolley pasar, the market trolley. I went down with my friend, my neighbor, and we put 2 of that full of satay and the satay grill. We took the train to Boon Lay because our live station was in Boon Lay. Boon Lay. Right, so we didn't have money to spend.
Yeah.
But we know that we're gonna get paid after. So we took the train all the way to Boon Lay. We took a bus to the location, which is a factory. So you can imagine after going down from the bus stop, you have to walk a bit because industrial area they don't have bus stops very near.
Yeah.
Reach the
Technically,
location.
you were pushing the trolley all the way.
All the way, all the way. I don't know whether I have some photos of it, but yeah, legit real story. So we went there. I did the event for Kak Melrose Hanafi, and I did for Kak Mel. It was for Allied Pickford. She was there. She took us. We actually used their table, do the whole thing. And then when we did the whole thing, we got paid. Then we took the taxi home. Right. So yeah, the fact that I went through all of that, right? It's not easy to pry this off my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you have to go through that struggle.
So kira that is like your trophy story.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot more trophy stories, but I think that was the
first few ones.
the pivotal.
Like if every single time I get somebody, and you know, in business there's always competitors, and they want a piece of the cake, whatever the cake is, right?
Yeah.
Just want to go and get it from you. You know, sometimes you just want to have that moment. You want to look back and see whether or not it's you have that kind of grit. Then you think back, betul lah. You know, you actually can do it. You've done it. You know, who deserves it more?
Yeah.
Right. So you work harder. Not that you want to go up to the person and say, hey, you know, no, I don't do things that way. You know, I will work harder. You know, because I know I'm capable.
Okay, I got two questions for you. Back then, I mean, I understand probably it was way cheaper. But how much was the cost for Kak Mel's punya event? And also, that's one. Secondly, how did Kak Mel find you and hire you for the event
I think
itself?
at that point of time, I got on Instagram very early when it started. So if you want to be anywhere in social media at any stage, if it just started, get on board, then you build from there lah. You know, so it was very early. I went on. I just did whatever I could on Instagram. Thankfully, Fluff Bakery was nice enough. Shahira was nice enough to go and feature me. And then after that, it was like you can see your followers shoot up.
I see.
So I mean, shout out to Fluff Bakery, shout out to Shahira. You know, they as a newcomer, you need the people from the established already have the viewership to say something about you.
To show some support.
Yeah, and then you can fast track a bit.
Okay.
You know, so that was maybe how Kak Mel got me.
Okay.
Right, and you know, then from there I went. I think the cost for that live station, I think, was not more than $400. I think it was just about there. It's just, I couldn't recall exactly what the order was, but it was definitely not more than that amount. You know? It is the kind of money where you do live station today, and if you're not careful with your money, 2 days time dah habis. Finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not as if we were rolling in money.
Okay, so what's your advice? Because like I said to you before the podcast, right? Our listeners, most of them are on the fence of being an entrepreneur, or should I just keep my 9 to 5 or that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what's the advice? Because I'm sure some of them will be like, 400 only.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take this job.
Yeah. I think if you want to understand more about business as a whole, you have to have a purpose. You don't go into it. Everybody can do business, okay? But you have to have a purpose. If you're going into it to change something that is missing in that industry, then do it. That will make you feel that if when things get rough, and things will get rough, business is never gonna be smooth sailing. Things will get rough. You need that small bits of things to get you up again. You need a very strong support system. So if you're on the fence of trying to start a business, don't start a business for the sake of starting a business. Don't start a business because businessmen make so and so money. That's never the basis of business. Of course, businessmen, we are very driven. We have a different way of thinking and whatnot. That's not because we are hardwired that we are. No, we are just more of the things that happen to us make us more adaptable and strong and whatnot. You know, you can't be weak to be a businessman. Can't. So purpose, and you have to purpose will give you that strength in the time of weakness. So for anybody who thinks they should, like all this, like maybe it's just $400, you know. Why do it for $400? Because I know I got 9 to 5. I also got bonus. I also got what do you call this? Medical benefits and whatnot, right? That my family can enjoy. I guess if you want to do business, you cannot look at the aspect. If you look at the aspect on its own, then you're definitely not gonna shift over, for sure. So a lot of people take big risks. Okay, and also for those people who are doing a 9 to 5 and whatnot, and they have a lot on their plate, their family and whatnot. It's a risk. It's a gigantic risk. Like when I started, I was young, and if anything happened,
Nothing to lose.
You know, then down the line it got a little bit more dangerous when you make a mistake. You know, and then it got more dangerous. You know, every single
With
time
family and kids.
Exactly. You know, and they don't get younger. They get you know, my wife just shared with me something very interesting. You think diapers are expensive, and when they grow up, you have your tuition. You have their extra stuff and whatnot. You know, they no longer just drink milk. You know, fish and chips, babe. So you know, right.
Grab, man.
Grab, whatever. Right. It's getting more expensive. So the later you start, the more risk there is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. There are people who are meant for this. They have a lot on their plate, but they're still doing that side hustle. And that kind of business person will just go very far. And we're not even talking about business person. Okay, I'm just saying maybe a property agent. I know of a friend of mine who was selling tudung. Alright, Nur Faj.
Oh, Nur Faj.
Oh, okay.
Right. She's from TP, right? Yes, Haidil.
Haidil and me, kita same school, Pasir Ris Secondary dulu.
Oh, okay.
Right, so Haidil and me are friends. Right, but Faj was just selling tudung. And she was working in HDB a long time ago. And Aidil was also. So
I recall that.
And then they chipped on, just keep on chipping. And they went, I'm not saying they went through smooth times, no. If you look at Aidil, he struggles, bro. You know, I'm very proud of him. From day one, I know he can make it lah. From day one, I know that in the heart, there's something very different for other people. But with whatever it is, from what I'm trying to say is, you know, Faj had everything and struggles and still study and went to go and do the property thing, which is very difficult.
Yes,
it's very difficult to pass.
You guys already know Nazrin already failed once or twice, and Amir already failed
4 times.
4 times.
So it's not easy. My wife also take. She passed paper 1, failed paper 2, and you know, it gets in the way. Life gets in the way of certain things, but it takes a very special person who will just, you know, that kind of like, you cannot, even if a train was pulling that person will still walk and pull that train. You know, it takes a certain type of person lah. You know,
how do you know that you are meant for it?
If things don't bring you down that easily and your mental capacity is good, you know. But there is two. I wrote down somewhere. There are 2 ways you look at things at different times of your life. I was a young entrepreneur, so when I did something, people did something, I felt a need to retaliate, and I also felt a need to be sad about it, and sit on it for a very long time, and holding it, like it holds you back from development, moving forward from the problem. And then when you're a seasoned businessman, it kind of like, when something happens, it's like, okay, it happened, no emotions. Next, buat apa? How to solve. That's how 2 different people, same people, but 2 different time frame can give you in terms of result. So maturity in business is very important. But maturity doesn't come by just like you go for a TED talk and then you're gonna be mature. It doesn't work that way. Things have to go a certain way for you to learn certain things, and then after a while of making mistakes, and then you ask yourself, you still want to go down this path because this reaction is not getting you anywhere. You know, and you need positive people. If you are friends with somebody who is selling perfume, you'll smell nice. So you have to surround yourself with the right group of people to constantly not want to hear what your bickering and whatnot, and just give you answers to move on. You have people who like, hey, somebody copying my business. Hey, throw they're very bad, You know why they do this, You know, you know. But there are people who like, okay, somebody compliment me, okay, fine. So what you know about it?
Yeah. And the former will always be focused on the competitor, right? And
Yes, always. So you have to have a group of people who will just snap you back, you know, and you have to be the person to snap others back,
Do you have that group of people?
Yeah, I do. I'm very glad. I'm very glad that I do. I meet them almost every Monday when I have the time. They play football with me every Monday. So my football kakis are just basically alphas. They are people who don't make excuses for their lives, you know. And of course, my partners, they are my building blocks and my wife. So these kind of people are not there to sugar things for you. At the same time, they're not gonna say that it didn't suck. But it sucked for them too. They're your partners. It sucked for them too.
Yeah, correct.
Right. But they're not coming to you and say, Rabak. No. They're just like, okay, next.
Yeah.
You know?
Next? Correct.
So then sooner or later you realize this sitting down thinking of the problem too much is not helping.
Yeah, correct.
You know, then you move forward. Yeah.
So you are technically a third gen business owner.
Technically, yeah.
How do you think that gives you an advantage among your peers?
That was my question. I wanted to ask the same question.
Zero.
Oh, yeah, zero, really.
Zero.
And people will say like, oh, okay, you got like
Nothing was handed to me. Okay, so
share your hustle story so that people know and you know.
Yeah, okay. So
how to make you out to be.
Okay, so I start. Okay, let me tell you what made me become a boss lah. Right? What made me become an entrepreneur?
Okay.
Okay. When I started off working part time. I was a farm attendant. Every day you see rich buggers. I was at Masjid Kasim punya.
Oh, Masjid Kasim, yeah, for sure. You see all the rich buggers.
In the morning they will just come, pump. You know, I was so confused. A Jaguar had 2 places to pump. So when the person pump and why is the full tank not full? I'm like, but full already, right? Yeah, the tank you fill up, got the tank, you know. So I was living in a satay seller's home, and then you suddenly stand there and see all these people who are giving their children so many things with the meat and whatever and whatnot. Right? You open your eyes a bit, lah. You know? That one thing taught me empathy in terms of how people initially looked at or people who pump fuel. You know, and people always like, it's like, uncle, full tank.
Yeah.
You know. But it seems that is like when I was there, I realized, hey, this is not funny, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get the tips, and then you realize how the world actually works in terms of giving you tips, like you pump, get $2, and you put in your pocket and everything. The small things made me realize that you should always value service stuff. Always. I don't care what they're doing. Must always value. You know, I was never a cleaner, but whatever, you know. At the rough part, whatever, somebody is doing this for you. You have to appreciate. So it's just based on people who are more empathetic lah. It doesn't matter, like, you know, right? Money doesn't make you anything else. More money only amplifies what you are.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So if you're not good in the start, then you're not gonna be, you know. But if you're good. If you're the kind of person who has always had empathy when you had nothing, you're going to have more empathy when you have a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about where I was standing. So this is going to circle back later on in my life station punya stuff. So then I became kendarat. I cleaned plates. I carried plates. I cleared tables. And then I did washing of the plates. Okay, sorry, I said washing plates. I did the wedding diyers. So I understood the wedding scene and being paid for that. So I was always paid per hour, always. Then I got a job at Secret Recipe, and that was where I understood what the best service standards were. I was in Secret Recipe in Harbourfront.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one, Plaza Singapura, and there's another anchor point if I'm not wrong. They were basically the best. So we were always competing against the others. It was very, very bad if you didn't understand what was going on. Every day somebody was scolded in Philippine language, you know. In all the bad words in Tagalog would just come out, you know, because my boss was they're the best, you know, in terms of service. You cannot say, you know. But that was also the same time when everybody was making noise about the foreigners taking our jobs. But to be honest, right, they should have taken the job. So
Yeah.
they really can do it.
Yeah,
they
the
can
way
do it.
they do the service. I've been in the service industry as a waiter. We've seen it all, especially the Indian. You can call them whatever, all these Indian buggers or whatever, but in truth, they can do a far better job than us, faster than us, more efficient.
Exactly.
And we're like still struggling. Like, I just clear one table, you clear 3 tables already, bro. You know, that kind of stuff.
This is exactly what's happening. So I was on the top lah, basically top in terms of I was in a group of people where we only knew how to do things well. So we didn't. My boss was not the manja type. You do waitering, that's it. No, you do waitering. Then if you're good, you do hosting. After you do hosting, you do barista. After barista, you do cake station. You know, you're not limited. You're not limited because I need you to be so versatile. When public holiday, all of you can cover each other's back. You know, somebody MC, okay, so what? We carry whack . You know, so that was the time. So all of these things slowly, I went through a very, I was working all the way. Then the final one was I was working at East Coast. Sell satay. So I have a friend of mine, Kai. He got me to sell satay at East Coast. Then I can see all the wak. All these people crazy, you know, they can do 3,000 sticks like nothing. Just lean on the metal bar, 3,000 sticks. Settle, but crazy, you know, these people. Two grillers, you know. Then after I look at them, I was like, wow. That one I fake it lah. Because I told you, my parents never allowed me to come close to the business.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when I went there, my friend said, ni parents dia, they sell satay. So that was the interview lah.
Okay.
Then like, you know how to grill satay? Then I was like, yeah. So I didn't know whatsoever. So like, yeah, okay, but boleh, can. My first batch of satay, the first week I got,
maki,
my boss didn't maki me. My boss had a group of people who had a structure. They're very skilled. So he doesn't do the scolding. These guys will just make you. But you have to be a different kind of person when you're selling satay. When people sell satay, right, the people were selling. You know those people like, bang, satay bang. You know, right, if you're a softie, you cannot be in that position calling people. You know, and these people are like with the tattoos and everything, right? They are very intimidating. You know, just some of them they're very macam. So when I was working with them, living in a bit of sheltered life, I was like, how do I work with these guys? It's very weird, no, but they can do the job, no, and they do it well. The same thing like you were saying with the Indian guys, you see, it's like you just like, what's going on here, you know, like. This shouldn't be the case. How are they so good at their job? You know, I totally humbled down because I had a perception. I totally had a perception. Now that perception is totally crushed because these guys are doing it, bro. So they taught me bit by bit. Walaupun they people, you know, they look that way. They might have made some mistakes here and there. But when it came down to the work, they could do it. That's why they were still there. Because it was a very fast thing when it was there. If you cannot, your boss just no schedule next week. That's it. You don't come already. It's not as if macam, you sorry, it's not working out. No, you just don't see your name at the schedule anymore. That's it. That's how you get booted out. So I was there for 2 years learning from these people. They will tell you straight to your face that it's not working.
Okay.
They will tell you, bro, and you have to man up. And coming from, like I say, coming from a very sheltered life, very difficult to take what they're saying to you, no. They sometimes just snatch the name, or they can just be that mean, no. Bang, you want some satay? Yeah, okay, can. Can you make it more garing? Turn around, look at me. Oh, this guy black also can give you.
In front of the
Yeah. Then you like, you know. Right, then a long time ago when I was younger, I used to put too much oil on my satay, and then like the other shops would be like, fogging style already. A lot of smoke. They were So you had to learn the hard way, you know. But then after a while, when you do well, they give you props. It's not as if they're like bully though. They want to see you work. They want to see you put in the effort. I did say to my boss that I wanted to open a satay business at the end of my time. And after 2 years, thankfully, someone in that whole area came up to me and said, "You're ready lah. You're good to go lah." You know,
dapat restu.
Sort of in that sense. So then I left and I told my boss exactly what I wanted to do lah. which was I wanted.
Okay, but how does your dad feel when you
Wanted to.
when you work for a competitor in other words?
No, he wasn't selling satay in that time already. He was selling other makanan lah. But he was also selling satay. But if you want to know the real answer, I did ask my dad. My dad simple. You don't work for me because nanti you be the anak boss.
Okay.
You're gonna sit at the cashier collect money ni. You're not gonna be at the back there. I want you to work.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to teach our kids.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also a good segue before we begin part 2.
Yes.
So, we'll take a break for now. And then we continue with part 2. So, thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys in the next part.